Hi again, and welcome back to Thrive Thursday. I'm Renee from Thrive Psychology, and earlier this week on Monday, we looked at the book Atomic Habits by James Clear and explored some of the reasons why small changes can lead to significant results over time. And today, I want to share 4 practical strategies from the book that can help you build habits that actually stick. Now, the beauty of these strategies is they don't require more willpower or motivation or a complete overhaul of your life, but instead they focus on making success and achieving habits and goals a little easier. So, the first tip is to start ridiculously small. So, one of the biggest mistakes people make is starting too big. And I like to think of it as pick a habit so small that you can accomplish it by this time next week. So, what is something small, part of the bigger goal that you can master within just a week's time? So, we often think like I'm going to exercise every day, or I'm going to exercise for an hour every day, or I'm going to meditate for 30 minutes, or I'm going to read 3 books this summer. And the problem is that goal can often feel overwhelming, especially when life gets busy and we find it hard to stick to what we had set out to do. So James Clear encourages us to make the habit so small that it's difficult to say no to. So, for example, instead of committing to a 30-minute walk, commit to putting your shoes on and walk for 5 minutes. Now, instead of reading a chapter, you might read 1 page, and then maybe you'll be encouraged or inspired to read more. Instead of doing a full workout, do 5 squats. And at first glance, those goals may seem like we're letting ourselves off the hook, or maybe they're too small to matter. But actually, the goal isn't to transform your life in one day. The goal is to establish consistency, because that's what the research shows is really helpful. Once a habit exists, it's easier to build upon it and to keep doing it. So showing up matters a lot more than trying to do it all in one swoop and feel like you need to show that off, right? Showing up is a lot more important. So, another thing we know is to habit stack. So, here's a strategy where we attach a new habit to an existing habit. So, the idea is simple, like take something that you already do and attach a new habit to it. So, I have 1 cup of coffee every morning. So, I could say after I make my morning coffee, I will do my gratitude practice. Or after I brush my teeth, I will do 1 minute of stretching. Or after or before I sit at my desk, I will do one. Um, I'll take a moment to write down my 3 top priorities for the day. So let's say you want to start practicing mindfulness. So instead of trying to remember a completely new routine, you could say, after I pour my morning coffee, I will take three slow, intentional breaths. Now, the existing habit becomes a reminder for the new one. Our brains love routines, so habit stacking helps us work with our brains instead of against it. Now, making the habit easy to see is another strategy. So, James Clear, as I mentioned on Monday, talks a lot about the importance of designing your environment. So many of us assume that success comes from motivation. And in reality, our surroundings influence our behavior a lot more than we may realize. So if you want to read more, put a book on your favorite chair. If you want to drink more water, keep a water bottle visible on your desk. If you want to remember your vitamins, place them where you'll see them first thing in the morning. So if you think about it, 2 people that want to read, one person has the book tucked away in a drawer and one person places it on their bedside table. Which person is naturally likely to remember or be reminded of the thing that they want to do? So small environmental changes make a surprisingly big difference. Seeing that book on your bedside table will remind you to read. So don't just rely on memory or on desire. Set yourself up for success in your environment with those visual cues. Now, the last tip is to focus on consistency, not perfection. So, This is one of my favorite lessons because we can be really hard on ourselves and feel like failures if we don't do what we set out to do. But many people abandon a habit just because they miss a day. So they think, I skipped my workout, I forgot to do my gratitude practice, I missed my walk. And then we just feel like failures and we don't do it again. It's kind of hard to pick it back up. But building habits isn't about perfection, it's about returning to the habit that you're trying to build. So, a helpful mindset might be make a commitment to yourself to not miss twice. If you miss one day, it's not a failure. You just get back on track the next day. So, if you've been walking regularly and then one day life happens and you get really busy or you have a stressful week or you run out of time and you miss a day, that's normal, right? Life happens, it can get in the way. The goal isn't like perfection. The goal is preventing one missed day to turn into a missed week, a missed month, a missed year, right? So, progress, reminding ourselves that progress is built through consistency, not perfection. So, I hope that these takeaways will be helpful for you. And as we wrap up, I want to remind you that successful habits don't usually begin with massive motivation. They begin with small, repeatable, consistent actions. And if you start smaller than you think you need to, it will be easier. If you attach new habits to routines that already exist, do that habit stacking strategy, it will be a lot easier to keep that going and make your environment work for you. So this week, I hope you'll choose one small habit you'd like to strengthen and apply one of these strategies. You don't even need all four. Just pick one. Start small, get curious, experiment, and see what happens. So I will see you for another book that we're going to explore. I'm thinking like in a month or so, or maybe in between certain series that I find myself doing. So stay tuned for more books and more tips that we explore in the Research to Real Life series. Thanks for being here. Good luck. You got this.